Go ahead and get into this first segment, which is going to be talking about that Lions game against the Packers. Now, this game was great. I thought this was going to be the best game of the week, and it's obviously, the first game of the week, but it's a really good sign that this is going to be the best game of the week. The final score was 34-31 in favor of favor of the Lions. I wanted the Packers to win, but the Lions, they're just a fantastic team. They've won 11 straight games, and they now hold a 12-1 record, and most likely are going to secure their first round bye, as well as the number 1 seed in all of the NFC. Again, this game was a great game. Jared Goff played great. Jordan Love, he played solid as well. He didn't throw the ball nearly as much as Goff did in this game, but when he did need to throw the ball, he made them count. Jordan Love, he completed 12 of his 20 passes, 206 yards, 1 touchdown, no interception. Josh Jacobs was on a roll in in this game, scoring 3 touchdowns, only 66 yards, but regardless, 3 touchdowns is 3 touchdowns, and you can't really argue with that. And on the Lions side, Jared Goff, 32 for 41 completion rate, 283 passing yards, 3 touchdowns, and just 1 interception. And everyone else was fantastic as well. David Montgomery had 1 touchdown. Jahmyr Gibbs, he had 43 yards. And, the offense was a little bit spread between each other. Nobody really had a monster performance, right? It was more of like a valiant team effort going throughout. There were some forced fumbles, there was some defense being played, and on the Lions side, Tim Patrick ended up scoring 2 touchdowns. Meanwhile, Jahmyr Gibbs ended up scoring a receiving touchdown. So while Jahmyr Gibbs did not score a touchdown on the ground, he did score a touchdown in the air. And just a fantastic game. I thought that this was going to be the game that the Packers ended up winning, but I mainly chose that team because my friend is a Packers fan. It really could have gone either way with the way that this game went, and it came all the way down to the wire. So the score was tied going into the final minutes of the game. So the Lions, they decided to go on a very long drive down the field to end the game, right? Now, with the score being tied, all they would need is a field goal to win. So they were already in field goal range, right? But if they would have kicked the field goal, then at that moment, being in field goal range, then it would have given the Packers time to actually do something. So Dan Campbell, one of the craziest coaches, makes one of the craziest coaching decisions and decides to go for it on 4th and 1, so that way they can maintain possession of the ball, because the Packers didn't have any more timeouts, and when they maintained possession of the ball, they'd be able to ensure that the Packers wouldn't be able to win the game off of a touchdown or even tie the game off of a field goal. It was an incredibly risky move, but it paid off in the end. And it's like, this is sort of why you ride or die with this kind of coach, and so far, any of the times that he's gambled, it seems to have worked. So I really like this coach. I really like how he likes to gamble and he believes in his offense, and in turn the offense actually performs. It's a very rare sight that we see, especially now. It's a very rare sight that we see a coach that's willing to take these kinds of risks, and we rarely see anybody take these kinds of risks, especially late in games. I see quarterbacks, whenever, instead of just taking a shot down the field with the game on the line, they just check the ball down. And I'm just like, why would you do that? Why on earth would you do that? And similar with some of these coaches, it's instead of going for it when they're inside the opponent's territory, maybe at the 1 yard line, they decide to just take the field goal. And that really confuses me. I remember, speaking of the Packers, I remember when the Packers did this against the Seahawks in that infamous playoff game. I forgot exactly which year it was, but I was rather young, so again, I don't really remember exactly what year that was. But I do know that the Packers, they played against the Seahawks, and the Seahawks played basically about as bad as you could possibly imagine. Like, they were awful for the first 3 quarters and going into the fourth quarter. But the game was still rather close. Ultimately, the Seahawks ended up winning in the end because the Packers choked. Their defense let up several scores. The special teams let up an onside kick recovery, and in overtime, the defense immediately gave the Seahawks a touchdown off of a long pass. I'm sure all of you guys, especially Packers fans, remember that game. But in that game, Mike McCarthy was their coach, by the way. Go figure, Cowboys coach now. But in that game, the Packers, they would have the ball at around like the 1 yard line in opponent's territory, just 1 yard away from the end zone. And instead of trying to go for it on fourth down, like 4th and 1 or 4th and goal, they decided to just kick field goals, and they did it twice. They did it 2 times, and in my head, especially like now when I rewatch this game, I'm thinking, why on earth didn't Mike McCarthy just go for it? You have the number 1 offense led by the NFL MVP Aaron Rodgers. Stop coaching scared and just go for it. And even if he did not convert, and even if the Packers do not convert on the 4th and goal at the 1 yard line, you're still giving the Seahawks at the very most, or even at the very least, 99 yards to drive down the field and try to score a touchdown in a game where they were playing like the worst team that has ever set foot on an NFL field. They were playing unbelievably awful in that game. But Dan Campbell, he's like, no, we are going to take risks. I like this team, and I have faith in this team, and I really do admire a coach that loves to take those kinds of risks. Now, overall, the game didn't really start out nearly as competitive as the way it ended. So, I mean, the score going into the half, right, after the first half, was 7-17. And in favor of the Lions. So it seemed like the Lions were going to run away with this easily until the Packers opened up this game with a touchdown, and then Jared Goff turned into Jared Goof after that possession, and then Jordan Love responded with another touchdown. Jordan Love and the Packers responded with another touchdown after that interception. But then the Lions, they quickly answered right back with a touchdown of their own. Then in the fourth quarter, the Packers, they opened up with a touchdown. Then the Lions, they opened up with a touchdown. Then the Packers took a field goal to ensure that they tied the game. And then that's when the Lions, they did their thing. It was a very great game. And it was like, again, no one really had any crazy performances going into this game and playing in this game. But it was just an overall team game. It was an overall team win, and I really liked this game. I don't expect any other team to really, at least in this week, to have as good of a game be as good of a game to watch as this team. But again, we have no idea. Maybe the Browns going up against the Steelers, maybe that's going to be a good game. I remember that was a pretty great game the last time they matched up. Maybe the Bengals going up against the Cowboys is going to be a good one. Maybe the Chargers going up against the Chiefs is going to be a good one. But for the most part, I think this was going to be, and is, well, as of right now, it is the best game of the week. But I think it's going to keep that title. But with that out of the way, I'm going to go into a short break. And then after that break, we're going to talk about some more things that this NBA season has proven so far. So I'll be right back after the short break. Be sure to stay tuned.
I feel like I'm losing my mind. Is everybody in the world blind? Please, Lord, give me a sign, a sign. I feel like I'm losing my mind. Is everybody in the world blind? Please, Lord, give me a sign, a sign. I wanna be the greatest. Everybody on the fake shit. I look around and feel like everybody is the fakest. I make this every day and I'm impatient, hoping one day I blow up from the basement. Statement, the top is so vacant. I don't hear shit that I think is amazing. Waiting for my day when I'm playing sold out shows for 1,000 faces. Hey, give me that crown, get in my way and to be put down. It ain't your place, all this my town. If I want that shit, then I'll get it right now. I'm losing it, the noose it fits. I'm losing shit, a stupid myth. You choose to live or choose to dip. You choose to fight or lose your grip and lose a gift. Oh,
I feel like I'm losing my mind. Is everybody in the world blind? Please, Lord, give me a sign, a sign. I feel like I'm losing my mind. Is everybody in